Okay, so now that we've become more familiar with our notes and our pitches that are on the staff with Every Good Boy Does Fine and Face, it's time to talk about what happens when we want to go above and below the staff. And what we do is we use these things called ledger lines. That's that definition that's popping up below. And these are lines that are used to extend note ranges above and below the staff. So if we take a look up here, this is the first note that we have moved up above the staff, and it comes right after F. As we remember, we go from line to line to space, etc. So if our last note F up here is a line note, then G is considered a space note. One thing that's really important to note is that the first space note above and below the staff do not actually require a ledger line. So if we look at where D would be on our staff, here's where we are. Remember, when we're going up, we're ascending in alphabetical order. But if we're going down, we're going backwards in the alphabet. So the letter that comes right before E is D, and that's how we get that note. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like to have ledger lines written above the treble clef. So we already established that the first note that we're going to see is G, and this is considered a space note, and it does not actually need a ledger line. So what do these ledger lines actually look like? It's literally just another line. But what it means is that we can put a note on that line. Again, remember that if this is a space note, we're going to go up to a line note, and the next note after G, when we restart our musical alphabet, is going to be A. If we continue to move up the alphabet, we have to find out where B is going to be. So we're going to draw another ledger line, and we're going to place B right on top of it. If we keep going up the staff, we have to go to C, but C has to be visibly above B. So we need not only one ledger line, but we actually need two. And then the letter C is going to go on that actual line. The reason why we have to have that second line before it is because if we don't have that line below it, it actually just looks like A, but higher. So make sure that you always have the correct amount of ledger lines. When we're trying to do our space notes above ledger lines, we have to make sure that our notes, like this B right here, are actually written above the ledger line and not below. Because if it looks like it's below the ledger line, it actually kind of looks like it's in the same space as where G is. So that is also not correct. So let's just review here. Our ascending ledger lines, they continue in ascending alphabetically above the staff. Line notes higher than the note A are going to require more than one ledger line. And then the last note that we had, ascending space notes will be placed above the ledger line and not below.